Fans of the FJ Cruiser have been clamoring for the return or something similar ever since it was discontinued here in the United States in 2014. And even though the demand is huge and the aftermarket prices are enormous for that FJ, it doesn't look like Toyota is going to bring it back to America anytime soon. Our greatest hope lies in a tiny, compact, electric off-roading vehicle, the compact cruiser. We got more images of it coming to you today, and let's have some fun with it. We're over at the Toyota European Newsroom. Toyota wins 2022 Car Design Award for the concept vehicles with the compact cruiser EV. This is the most talked about EV from at least the Toyota end, not the Lexus end, but the Toyota end that Akio Toyota showed off in this past December's big reveal. Before we get into all the new images of this vehicle, it is created by Toyota Europe Design Development Center in Nice, France. So a lot of us were thinking, oh, these vehicles are just designed in Japan. Not the case. This EV showcase is a conglomeration of the design studios around the world. It's pretty neat. So we'll start with the sketches and then we'll work our way down. They kept saying in this article that this vehicle is styled after, in some ways, the first generation Land Cruiser. Now, I don't know if that's all the way back to the BJ Cruiser or just a few years later when they finally called it the Land Cruiser. But here they are in Nice, France, working on that clay model. They even have the Toyota on the wheels already. Another image of them working on it. And here's our first digital render. It's the first time we've seen this in a color outside of that powdery blue. We kind of have this pale yellow. Looks like it's a little bit sun faded. My patience might be fading as well. If you hear the kids in the background, just roll with it. That's what I have to deal with all the time. It's my choice as a father, and it comes with repercussions. So this vehicle, you know that they're tailoring this to beachgoers. This thing looks amazing with the surfboard on top. The wheels look great. We'll talk about potential powertrains here in a little bit as well. I love photos like this because every once in a while we'll get some like snippets down here of maybe something coming in the future. And look how many different iterations that they have, or maybe different trim levels. It's really hard to see here. Awesome drawings overall from this design team, and this is just some sort of rendering software they use for the vehicle. But let's get back into the other images. So here's our first digital sketch, and man, does this thing look cool. And we'll talk about potential production here in a little bit. This digital sketch looks amazing. Even from this angle, it looks pretty cool. I love this design pattern here. Little FJ or compact cruiser going through the mountains on the side. What do you think about this speckled material that goes around the bottom and around the wheels? I'm actually digging it, and it feels a little bit like 90s retro to me. Full-size model here out in the open. I mean, other than the tires and the wakeboards or snowboards up top, I can't really tell. I'm not either of those things. You can't really tell that this is a real vehicle. It looks fake because it looks just like the renders. So what do you guys think of the front end? I want it to stay just like this. I think it's really cool looking. Now they have a pretty wide aperture lens here to get that bokeh effect. So it makes it look fake from the front on back, but this is the real deal, guys. And them showing off the Car Design Award 2022. We have this cool roof rail keeping those boards in on top as well. We have a double brake light on top instead of just the singular one we typically see to complement the side brake lights right here. This one has the ladder on the side to climb up it. Very Land Cruiser or even like Land Rover Defender-esque of it. And this last image, looking at it from the side, it looks a little bit boxy, a little bit frumpy from the side, but I still think it's extremely charming. And you know you're gonna have some big blind spots back here with this like D pillar. It's hard to tell what kind of pillar would be back here. A, B, C, I guess C, and then a D pillar. Now there's no window back here, so yeah, I'm expecting large blind spot even from the production model. Now it's possible they could put a window back here on the production model, which would be kind of cool, but I doubt it. I like the blue and the orange contrast. You even have the orange contrast and the hubcap in the middle. Great looking vehicle, and is well deserved of all of its awards that it's getting around the world for design. A couple more images of it out there in a potential environment. These are just, of course, digital renders, and this is the last one, which looks really cool. We got these cables running from the roof rail to the front of the vehicle. I don't even know what purpose that would serve. It just looks amazing. I'm not an extreme off-roader. Like, what would you put on these cables? Is it for stability? Is it to keep the roof rack tethered and anchored down to the vehicle? I love these lights on top of the roof as well. I love the unnecessarily large hood vent since it's an EV, doesn't really need it. Might be one of the few times we've actually seen a potential interior. So we have some cream and orange sickle contrast going on. Only other interior shot that I believe we have is this right here of this compact cruiser. Now they called it light cruiser before. That's still a potential name for this vehicle. We have kind of this double digital screen up here. Here's your push button or drive-by-wire settings, kind of a hexagonal steering wheel. And then we have a little model of the vehicle sitting on the dash. So again, that's all concept. Really the only image of the interior we have other than this image. So what kind of powertrains could we see? We only know what we have on the market right now from Toyota, and that's the BZ4X, or let's say the Lexus RZ450e. They're not going to give this light cruiser 300 plus horsepower like we see in the RZ. Around 215 horse, of course, would be all-wheel drive only, I would expect. I don't see why they would sell it in a two-wheel drive variant with 250 pound-feet of torque. 0 to 60 is probably around 7 to 7.5 seconds at that point, which is plenty fast for a vehicle like this. Battery pack would be the same size, and range is going to be probably around 200 miles, maybe even less, because this thing is not going to be nearly as aerodynamic as the BZ4X or Solterra. Price, they need to keep this low. And I can't even really talk about price because who knows when this vehicle could come out. So pricing of vehicles is astronomically high right now, especially for battery electric vehicles. And the EV tax credit will be gone by the time this vehicle comes out, unless the government decides to reinstate some other sort of different tax credit program for EVs. I want this vehicle. I think just about any fan of the FJ Cruiser or Land Cruisers in general, especially that we don't get either in North America, well, at least here in the United States, we would just love to have the return of anything Land Cruiser, and to be in a compact, somewhat affordable EV would be a dream come true. But I'll see you guys down below on your thoughts. Smash the like button if you haven't, and subscribe for more Toyota news updates like this one. Catch you in the next one. Have a wonderful day. Take care of yourselves, and peace out.